The Limited Editions Club published 5 editions of Jules Verne's work, of which 4 were illustrated by Edward A. Wilson. I've already reviewed 3 of them on this channel, and here I'll be taking a look at the last to be published, A Journey to the Centre of the Earth. The book was issued in LEC's usual limitation of 1,500 copies, and is quarter-bound in red buckram over a black material with a pattern intended to evoke an underground coal mine. The red and black cloths are separated by a gilt scalloped border, and the title is blocked on the spine in gilt. The same gilt title blocking makes its way onto the spine of the plain black slipcase, allowing the book to be shelved spine inwards. Overall, it feels like a well-made book, but is probably my least favourite from these 4 Wilson-illustrated Verne novels. Turning to the text block, we have a sewn binding with red and yellow head and tail bands that echo the red and gilt of the binding. The top edge is stained black, while the bottom and fore edges are unstained but trimmed. Everything is printed on a special making of Mohawk wove paper. The text is set in Waverley to a design that accommodates easy reading, but to my mind has a definite hint of the book's 1960s origins. That scalloped gilt design from the binding shows up in the form of black ornamentation in the book's interior, which helps tie together the design as a whole. The printing by letterpress was undertaken at the press of A. Collish. Edward A. Wilson was one of the most prolific illustrators of LEC books. Here he has supplied 15 images. The line work was reproduced by photogravure, and then the prints were hand-coloured by Poquar at the studio of Walter Fisher in New York. Like examples of Wilson's work I've reviewed in the past, these illustrations capture the spirit of mid-century adventure. Depending on your perspective, they are either charming or old-fashioned, but at least well executed. To Wilson's credit, I think the source material was a bit more difficult in this particular novel because the underground tends to be dark and grey, but he's made the best of it. I particularly like the frontispiece. This edition unfortunately shares a significant drawback with other LEC Verne editions, in its use of an outmoded Victorian translation. If you expect to read an unadulterated rendition of Verne's vision, then this certainly isn't it. Faithfulness of the translation notwithstanding, this work presents a readable text that preserves the fundamental thrill of Verne's adventure. I personally found the Earth's interior to be a little less felicitous to excitement than 20,000 Leagues Nautilus or Mysterious Island's Lincoln Island. Perhaps too, Verne's pacing felt a little off here, a trifle slow to get going and then over all too quickly. This novel therefore wouldn't be my recommendation for a first Verne book, but is a worthy intermediate stop on an extraordinary voyage deeper into Verne's oeuvre.